Sana, this is Morning Cafe and I'm usually Stanley Nyerengeti. It's a Wednesday. We're discussing matters relationships and a whole focus away from matters what has been happening yesterday, maneno ya maandamano. Today tunaingililia mapenzi na how your relationship is looking like. And helping us have this conversation that we're going to have today is Carol Macharia, as well as Dr. Julius Kimani, not new faces to our panel. Leo aliambiana wavae kuna touch of red. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Thank you so much.
A brief intro and how your morning is looking like. I know it's not one of those mornings that we wake up and say good morning, but I'll start with you, Carol. It's been a long time having you here.
Long time, but we thank God for another opportunity to be here. Me, I'm good. The morning is beautiful. Taking one day at a time, not minding what happened yesterday. At least we thank God He has given us an opportunity to be alive today.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, as you have said, Carol Macharia, I'm a life coach. I'm a student of psychology, doing my master's. I also run a program called Spa Impacts as the CEO, reaching out to the teenage mothers and the young mothers, and also the young couples. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes, good morning. Good to see you. You know, they usually say every new day is a present. That's why it's called present. So we thank God for this present of today. And we say every new day gives us an opportunity to rectify the mistakes that we made yesterday. So I appreciate God for this opportunity to be here. I'm a relationship expert, practiced for over 14 years. And we are changing lives and transforming lives through counseling, especially couples, singles, students, and every human being. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Today, I want to do things a bit differently.
Yes.
Normally, and typically when we start this conversation, today we're going to be discussing money. And we've been always having this bits and pieces of this conversation here, maneno ya pesa, kwa relationship, because it's always the elephant in the room. As much as, yes, mapenzi itakuwa, but then the money factor when it comes in. And now the dynamics are even, well, because we really talk about the Gen Z and even some of the young millennials who are really trying to get into this space here, relationships, the money factor. So typically every Wednesday, I always throw in a proverb for you guys. So I'd love now for you to tell me a kind of proverb that resonates. Doctor?
I think the most common one is a Kikuyu proverb that says, "Ado ndio ido." Yani watu ndio pesa. So you see, when you get a mtu into your life, that means you either get the problems they have, financial problems they have, or you get the financial blessings they have. So we need to be very careful on who we are relating. And I'm not saying that you cannot relate with anybody, but you need to be careful on what kind of baggage they are bringing to your life as you get engaged in a relationship. Yes.
And this reminds me, there used to be something growing up that we used to say, man, God made man, man made money, and money made man mad. So with that, Carol, what's the psychology of people naturally with money? The whole desire to even have more or just have it.
Yeah, as you have said that, as Dr. has said that, watu ndio pesa. You know, it is scarce. Number one, money is scarce.
Oh, okay.
And the most beautiful thing is that we cannot stay without money. Even in churches, we are told that there is no institution that can be run without money. So even for you as a human being to exist, money is paramount. And I think even in the current situation in our country, it's all about money. If there's nothing that was revolving along money, I want to believe that our country could be at peace at this moment, because people feel that they have been squeezed to the corner. You know, it's like money is being taken away from them. That's why you are hearing they're saying that they're stealing from us. What are they stealing from us? It's money. Yeah.
So, so that means the lack thereof of money in a relationship would really itafanya relationship kidogo ikae iwither, ama?
It is true. You see, you cannot. One of the ways that we express love is by using that money.
Sure.
Yes, you can tell somebody that you love them, just like the Bible says God loved us. But the next thing we see, the expression of his love, he says he gave his son. So in the same way, there must be a giving of something for you to really express your love for somebody. And it can be very challenging when, you see, they say you can't eat love. In a house, you can't eat love. You have to have money or something equivalent to eat for you to be able to have that relationship. And that's where you find relationships where, and it's not about the amount. It is about the presence of it and the management of it, and also the hope of getting some of it. Because there are people who come in and they have very little money, but they have a vision that one day they'll be better off. And they work towards it and eventually they achieve. So we cannot have stable relationships when there are no finances. We have seen arguments where maybe a man has drunk all the money and the children are not going to school. So that argument, actually, there could be love, but because the money was not spent well, then an argument ensues. And so I think it is one of the greatest things that people need to have. Even the Word of God says, money answers everything. As long as you're here on earth, what we see physically or the services that we get must be paid for through money. And even if you get it for free, if today I give you a pen for free or a car for free, I still spent on it. I spent some money somewhere. So it is actually not free. So
nothing for free.
Nothing for free. So money is important in relationship, especially not the presence of it, how it is managed.
And so just to pick on what you're saying, money is very important. Just before these two people meet, let me say Peter and Jane, for example, they are still in that dating scene, and obviously money conversation starts.
Sure.
So how should they start typically? Because kuna vitu zenye maybe one party or even both parties wataficha, including how much you earn. Jane anaulizwa na Peter, but yeah, you go to job, una earningi how much? At first, maybe hatataka kusema exactly, nasema this average. Or maybe if it's a business, she'd probably be asked, what's the profit that you get? And he or she may not want to reveal the exact. First of all, why is it that's the case?
Okay, I think if there's something that is breaking relationship, even marriages, it's transparency. So I believe that when you're getting into a relationship with someone, there should be that transparency. Because si munawana, na you will expose the whole you to this person, then why hide money? I think there is something else which is so precious that we give to each other in the matters marriage. Something which is very crucial. There is no need of mentioning it here. Why not tell me what you earn? Mbona mimi nisikwambie what I'm earning? So transparency is very crucial, because when you come to discover that this person was able to do this, you know, especially for ladies, she was able to pay her house, she was able to cater for her needs, but at the end of the day, he's looking at this guy as a bank, you know, and also in the aspect of marriage, whereby the lady is able to cater for a few things, but she's saying, I don't have that money to cater for that. Or even the man, you see, nowadays they are not exposing a lot. They are not telling us what they are earning. Kitambo tulikuwa tunaambiwa ni sisi hatusemagi, ni nini tuko nayo. Lakini nowadays even the men
walipata playbook yenu.
Yeah, walipata playbook yetu, so wanaficha pia, wao wanaficha tusijue wako na pesa sana. But at the end of the day, it's not about exploitation. It's about transparency, because what I earn, what he earns is the family money. So we put it in the table, we say this is to do this, this is to do this, this is to do this. But at the end of the day, you find people are hiding. They are not able to put it on the table. This is what I'm able to earn. And you see now the conflicts, probably as Daktari has said, if the money is not well spent, there will be conflict. So financial issue is one of the things that is really affecting relationship, is one of the things that is really affecting marriages. And it's because there is no transparency. Because it does not matter whether I'm earning little, whether he's earning little. What matters is the transparency of what he and what she is earning. But when we are not able to disclose, then the conflict arise. Why are you not providing for us? And I know you're well paid. You see? Why are you squeezing me to the corner? Na uko na tu pesa tudogo umejifichia kama mama. Kitambo, I don't know whether it's the early millennial, it's the late millennial. You know, women were advised. Mama anajifichiaga 100.
Just in case.
Just in case kuharibike. You see, but I don't think it should be like that. Should put everything on the table. We discuss, we are going to cater for this today, tomorrow we are going to cater for the other one. And you see, when the transparency is achieved, peace automatically, in matters money.
And Daktari, when you take a look at, let's say, Gen Z and millennials, these are the kind of homes that we've grown up. Our mothers who would make sure that a certain amount, it's not really disclosed, just in case kitu ifanyike, ndio sasa nakwambia, kuna ebu enda uniletee ile kibeti yangu, kuna pesa iko hapo. And all along, you know, we're probably worried. Is that a good thing? Because they also learned this art from somewhere else, and it really thrived in a number of families.
Actually,
was it because of the nature of the men who were there? Now, the fathers who raised most of these millennials and Gen Zs, is it the nature of how they used to manage money and probably even spend? Or how would you speak on that?
I would look at it in a few different ways. Number one, you find some men would come and leave money with their wives, and they are gone for a month. So the woman has to manage the money that she has received very well until the time when the man comes back. And so by the time the man comes back, you may find the woman has still some got balance left. So that she doesn't go back to the husband and says, I have some of this. So she would keep it away. Because as they say, in Kiku they say for the bad night. There is a bad night that comes and you may need to have, it's just like a savings. And so there are some women who are keeping it like that as a form of a saving, simply because the husbands are not asking for that extra money that is left after they have given the ladies the money to stay with. Now there is a second type whereby they would probably even lie to the husband, escalate the expenses so that they have some extra amount of money. And so this is, you see, now this one is where you find there is no integrity. So what are we doing when you are teaching, when the children can see that you are asking for more and keeping it, so that when the bad night comes, you unleash some power?
So this means because hypothetically, if the children even involved and children who can also visualize this and see this happening, this means that this is a marriage or a relationship that has been in existence for, let's say, even 10 plus years. But then, so if this couple had an open conversation, as Kari is saying, on we are setting money kwa meza, just at the moment when they started dating. Wakianza tu pelekana kahawa hapa na pale, when they just met each other, kawa ni kanisa, whatever they met, 6 months in. If they had such a conversation, it was a very open conversation at that time, will that have solved hii maneno yote huko mbele?
I believe so. I think one of the things that we have avoided a lot as couples is the conversation about money. Because they say couples that talk more about money usually have better marriages. Couples that usually don't talk about money They only talk about money in a crisis. They usually have worse marriages. So you find it is just like this organization. If they don't have, I believe every organization has regular meetings where to discuss about money.
Yeah.
Because even marketing is all about how much money is coming in. Sales, it's all about are we selling our products? Are we marketing our products in a proper way? When it comes to HR, are we getting value for the people who are working in our organization? So we are actually reviewing money. And when it comes to relationship, there has to be that review. There has to be that conversation. But if it is not there, trouble.
But is there an upside of, because as you put it, I love how you put it as an organization, because we normally say marriage is an institution. So typically, I as an employee, I won't really know everything that happens money-wise, even in this organization, for a particular purpose. Even in an institution, even for marriage, is there an upside on one partner having the know-how of how much is in a particular bank account, huyu mwingine hajui, just because of some particulars huko mbele? Is there an upside for that?
I think Carol has put it in a very nice way. We are ready to give each other the most expensive of ourselves. That's, let's say, talk about intimacy. We give without questioning the most valuable. And yet when it comes to money, which is least valuable, then we hold it back. I will say, I would only advise for somebody to be careful about exposing what they have. If you have a spouse who is crazy about spending money, that maybe you have a drunkard in the house, maybe you have a drug addict of a wife or a husband, and you know when they see the money, they will definitely use it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
But if you trust your spouse and you know that they don't do some crazy things, you will achieve more when your money is married than when your money is single.
Carol, riddle us for this. We are normally told that women are good savers. Men are probably better spenders. Women, you'd be in a relationship with a lady, she will have saved 70% of her earnings. You probably even pay the same. Let's say it's 50,000, both of you. Yeah, to save 70% of that. Where would spend 70% of that? True. Why is that? Help us understand ile variation here, how different genders spend and also save on money. Because at the end of the day, this will come to be tied to, inafika katikati ya mwezi, huyu mwenye alispend nyingi anaanza sasa kuangalia na kuambia so kuja na mimi sina pesa by the way, kuja na vitu. Unashangaa wewe kwani hujui? Because at the end of the day, as you're saying, management, but then there's also, I believe it starts with personal management of how you spend your own personal finances before it transcends to nyinyi wawili.
Okay, just to add on what Doc has said, why some women don't expose their finances, it's a coping mechanism of the problem. You see, there is a problem of mismanagement of money, maybe because of drunkenness of a man, and now you don't want to leave this man because of that. He's the father of the children, and maybe as you weigh whether the issue of mismanagement of money is equivalent to dropping your marriage, then you see that being in the marriage goes up. So at that point, a woman will do what Doc has said, that you will save that money and you will not expose what you have saved to the man because of the children. The children have to go to school. The children have to clothe. So it's like it's a coping way. It's not the right thing to do because the marriage should be that open. Everything should be open, that transparency, integrity. But now because there is a crisis, you solve it in that manner. So you get a coping mechanism of staying with the man, but unaficha tudogo. Ama unakosa ku-expose what you are earning, just to ensure that the family runs the way it's supposed to run. You have asked me why women save a lot, why men, you know. I think it's just an art that God has given us. It's just an art of looking at tomorrow. You see, looking at tomorrow. But I want to believe that Akina Daktari and the other fathers will try to talk to the young men, especially the Gen Z, because I think that's the topic of the whole world. Because we are having a problem at that generation. because the men in that generation, the two guys that were raised during that generation, most of them are not very responsible. To an extent, you might find sasa hata ndio wanaomba wasichana pesa. You see, ndio wanaomba madem pesa, because wasichana tumeeducate wasichana, we have enlightened the girls. You see, it's totally a different world. During our mother's time, the only income they were getting was from the cows at home, kulima, you see, and they were good savers. They were good savers. They used to work very hard. But at the end of the day, you could find it's the man who is asking for this money. Ni yeye amekamua, mama ni yeye amekatia ng'ombe majani, lakini maziwa ikilipwa mwisho wa mwezi, mzee ako hapo. Vitu ni zake, pesa ni zake, apewe pesa. You see? And I think that's why the women of those days developed that art ya kuficha tu pesa. Kwa sababu huyu mzee atakimbilia akisema, leta pesa, pesa ni zangu, boma ni yangu. Mimi ndio mwenye boma, lakini hata yeye si yeye alifanya hiyo kazi. I had someone asking whether we have ever, those days before us, ni nani ashaiona baba yake akikata kahawa nyumbani? Ni nani ashaiona baba yake akifanya kazi? Wazee wa hiyo siku wenye walikuwa wanaishi ushago, they were not working so hard. The women ndio walikuwa wanafanya kazi sana. But at the end of the day, the man is there.
So it means
maziwa ikilipwa anaitisha tu pesa, leta pesa. So mimi ndio mwenye boma.
So it means that even in the genesis of a relationship, dividing the roles of even how money is spent and saved is also key, so that msingie just blindly and assume, because even take a look at, let's say, the past. The lady will know, in my past, nimezoea, the man that I used to have, he would handle everything finances. I'll just angenitumia, I spend it. But then when you're now having this new person, he expects things to be handled differently. So, Dr. So how do you divide these roles on management, as saving as well as spending now together in the genesis of this to-be relationship?
You know one thing that we are training accountants in schools on how to handle organizational finances. But the greatest organization, as we said, is marriage. And unless there is a deliberate and intentional training of our young people on how to handle money, it cannot work. And unfortunately, we expect them to learn on how to spend money by watching us. And most of the times we are discussing in the bedroom on how to spend money. So when we come to the sitting room, we have already agreed on how to spend it. So they're just seeing a father unleashing money, go pay school fees. The mother, as we said, getting to her side pocket that she has saved some money, adding to the son some pocket money to go to the school. So unless we come, young men, you have to be intentional. There is so much training that is done through books, online, couples meetings and seminars where young people, you have to learn on how to spend money. And I will tell you, this is not a one-time thing. It's not a 6-week course that you'll be trained on how to handle money as a couple. It is something that you need to be intentional about so that you can know. You find places like in the US, couples have, because of the tax regime that is there, they actually have to sit down and have a checklist on how they are spending. But now, when we come to Africa, we assume our sons will know how to spend money, and we never taught them. So, as she said, I think it is the parents who are there. Even it's never too late. It is a high time we began to call our sons and our daughters and tell them, this is how, if you see as we have built this, for example, tumejenga maploti, tuko na biashara kama hii na hile, this is what we did with your mother or with your father. And then they will learn. Otherwise, we're expecting them to learn from observation.
As they say, Rome was not built in a day.
Yes, true.
Now it's 1:30. Now that we've opened this conversation, I'd love to hear your sentiments on this. We'd definitely love to. Despite the whole fact that shida internet bado inaendelea tu, so we'd love to even get your call. 0795 045864 is the number to call us live. We'll be having it pale kwa chini kwa screen. Save it right now and call us. And we're asking you, how do you handle money conversations in your relationship? Ama kama uko kwa market bado, how did you used to handle it? Or rather, how do you envision in e-conversation yote ya pesa, how should it be handled in a relationship? Talk to us. 22047 is our SMS number. 0793267279 is our WhatsApp number. I'll be taking a look at your feedback tukiendelea hapa hivi How do you handle money conversations? 0795 045 864. And now the fact that, because I said our main focus shouldn't even really be people in marriages, because teething problems mepitia after 2 years, 3 years, this is what we really need to do. So now for the Gen Zs and millennials who are still trying to see, how can I get into a relationship? How do I, if I earn this much? Because the kind of conversations that I'd probably have with a number of people, they'd say, I don't want to get into a relationship because I don't earn this much. Meaning, he or she is scared that there's still a financial independence that they need, even in a relationship. First off, Dr. why is it that even for the young guys, one of the biggest factors for them is money? You tell them, mbona una mtu? Mi sina do. And it cuts across even for the men and women, but mostly even for the men.
Now, I will start by saying, si kupata mtu kwa sababu nilikuwa na pesa. Nilipata mtu kwa sababu nilikuwa na mistari, na pia nilitaka mtu. Kwa hivyo, and that's the thing. We need to understand that finances, money follows a vision.
Sure.
You will never get money until you start pursuing something. Let me tell you, you will find somebody they will see an advertisement. Why do we buy things? We first see what we need to buy. Then money begins to come. So I will tell the young men, it is not money that will give you a good marriage. Have a vision. Identify that young lady you want to marry. And of course, you must have a small job. If you're waiting for independence, there are some guys who are now in their 60s and they have never gotten independence and they are still married. So financial independence will not make you to have a better relationship.
But it isn't the flow.
It is
inaifanya inakuwa softer.
Inakuwa softer, but let me tell you, talk to any couple. And I will ask you, maybe in 10 years to come, those guys will have married. Any couple that sits down together, they will tell you they began at a place where they didn't have much. And if they have anything, they have built it. And that is the unfortunate part. If this organization, I like using organizations, if this organization waited for every set of camera to come into place for them to start working, it would not be existing. But they started somewhere, probably even with 2 cameras, 3 cameras, that is it. So wherever you are as a young man, don't look at that. There is somebody who will value you for who you are.
Sure.
If somebody is coming to say you are broke, I will not get married to you, that's not your person. Look for a person who will value you for who you are and value you for the work that you do and the little that you earn. And then they see potential. I say, if a woman can see potential, a woman who sees potential in a man and embraces that potential, they will find themselves further than a woman who waits for a man to see the potential become money and then they move in. They will always have a problem because the man will be saying, I'm in charge here. I got this money, so where hauna say. So if you get married to that guy when he still has a little, you will have a say in that marriage. Sure. If you get married to a guy when he has everything, he'll always be telling you have nothing. Auja contribute kitu hapa.
But you are a little nini because a number of couples watakwambia tulianza hapa kidogo and we built to a certain level. And as you rightfully say, yes, kuna vision lakini hana sana. So from a lady's perspective, when a lady says at least akona kakitu, what is kakitu?
Okay. A little is what you have.
What do I have?
What you have at that moment.
What should I have at that moment?
The vision, number one. At least nione mtu anaenda mahali.
Okay, away from matters, even vision. Because yes, I mean this akona vision lakini anaishi kwa wazazi wake.
Okay.
Hana, at the end of the day, lazima ategemee mzazi amtumie pesa. Lakini bado akona vision mzuri. Okay,
no, you can't be tegemearing mzazi. So meaning that you are still in a family cover. You see, the word of God says that a man will live and cleave. So time ya kulive bado haijafika. Because you are not yet able even to sustain yourself. Unategemea mzazi. And I think that is the crisis that we are having now.
So it means that lazima kuwe amefika level ya anajisustain mwenyewe. Ndio useme akona kitu.
Because now you are getting together to start a family. And you see, the man is the provider. So akona responsibility to provide for that family. And he has not even, he's not even able to provide for himself. He's still under the cover of the parent. So, in other words, he's still a child. He's still being taken care of. And you are joining together. Alafu katoto kakuje. How will the man be able to sustain you and sustain the child? So, I think they will have to grow up first for them to go and start, a family. Because someone is looking up to you. And now you are still tegemearing the parent. It is not possible. So allow the ladies also, I think we need to teach them, because now it's totally a new narrative for today, because they are looking up to men who have money.
And it's all, on the flip side also, Dr. Because what on the street really is that, just to paraphrase it, men, if you don't have money, most of these girls, when you approach them, they'll just be like your relatives, you know. Meaning that if you don't really have money, you may not really be able to reach a certain level compared to someone who has money. Because, again, still one of the street is, let's say a man who doesn't have money, atashinda amekwambia, hey, how are you? Hey. For someone who has money, atashinda atakwambia probably, hey, let's meet at a restaurant probably, because of the financial muscle that he has.
Let me tell you, if you see a young man who has a lot of money in his 20s, most likely, it is his parents, or he has stolen it, or he has made it. But the percentage of people who have that kind of money,
who have made it legally
in their 20s and in their early 30s are very few. So I will say some of the ladies are chasing an illusion.
Sure.
And if you see somebody who has a capacity,
but it's a society which has made up this illusion that you really need to reach a certain level.
That's true. You follow that certain level, but also ladies will tell you they have suffered along the way.
Sure.
Because as they pursued that guy who has got the money, they discovered he had a wife or he had several others. And by the time they are catching his money and enjoying it, they also live with a few scratches and a lot of emotional wounds. So I will tell you, if there is a young guy outside there and you are being rejected by that you don't have capacity, you make it. The issue is that you make it. A time will come when somebody will come your way. But for the young lady who is waiting for that guy who has a lot of money, because many of them are waiting. It's like, I will say, some of the ladies are waiting there. It's like the international football. We have Africans who are, and there's nothing wrong, practicing every single day. To one day have one of them play in the international league. But if you count how many Africans are in the international leagues, maybe 50. Or even maybe lesser than that. And so there is that illusion. If you are a lady and you're waiting for that guy who has so much money to marry you, you could be waiting just like to join the international league. So I would rather you wait. I would rather you join that guy who has a vision and is working, and then you make together and you become international together. So there is an illusion where we are thinking that money makes everything. You can build finances if you have logic and if you have a focus and if both of you are working on something.
All right.
Yes.
Just a reminder, our phone number is there and the phone lines are open. You can always call in live. Tell us your name when you're calling us. Also tell us where you're calling us from, and mute your TV, or probably just have it off for a seamless conversation. Tuongee vizuri, tuambie in your relationship right now, if you're in one, how do you deal with money matters? Kianza kuongea hapo na mpo wako, how do you deal with this kind of a conversation? Or rather, how did you used to deal with it? Or how do you envision inafaa kuwaje? We'll be happy to listen to you. 0795 045 864. Also on WhatsApp, 0793 267 279. So, Carol,
yes,
a number of times when you have this conversation, it normally reflects to the man. Because when you're saying, you're let's say telling a couple, you're having money matters, the man, do you have money? Well, najaribu. People oftenly forget that even for the woman, that she should even be asked, how much do you earn? What is your financial independence? Also, what do you bring to the table when it comes to matters of finances? Why is that? Because it seems as if we are putting a very heavy burden on the man here when it comes to finances, and the woman shouldn't really, hata kama hana kitu yeye, because as you're saying, mwanaume ako na kitu. But then when it's on the flip side, I won't really even mind kama yeye ako na kitu sawa.
Okay, kila mtu anafaa kuwa na kitu. Because at the end of the day, I have my own life. As I said earlier, the narrative has changed. Sio kama kitambo. Saizi, we have enlightened the girl child. We have brought the aspect of self-awareness to the girl child. So hata mimi kuna mahali naendaga. I have my own path. He has his own path. And at the end of the day, it's the achievement of my goals and achievement of his goals too. Hand in hand. So tunapata sasa saizi, the ladies wa nowadays, there is a contribution we are putting in the house. Because the ladies are able to earn nowadays. Siku hizi wasichana wanasoma. Siku hizi wasichana wanafanya biashara.
Yeah, true.
Sure. So si kama kitambo. At least, kulingana na venye economy iko, I should have my contribution in that house. I should not let my man go down kwa kona. Nikionaga pia mimi, there is something that I need to do in that house. That's what I'm saying. The transparency of my money, there is this aspect that pesa zake ni zetu. His money is ours. My money is mine. Me, I don't like that aspect. Because huu ni mtoto wa mtu. At the end of the day, I have a son. I think we should let ladies approach this issue in this manner. You are talking of somebody else's son with this economy. I also have my son. The way I'm treating this man, I expect the same, my son to be treated the same. And I think that's why this aspect is being floated, that bring the way I am as a wife, can I present myself to my son as a wife? Naweza taka kijana wangu aoe mama anaka kama mimi. Una get?
And speak of which, let me interrupt you briefly as we listen to Gilbert Simiyu kutoka Kawangware. Gilbert, habari ya asubuhi?
Yes. Yes, mzuri sana.
Ni kitambo utupigie simu. Karibu tena.
Nimekaa kidogo.
Kawangware mnaendeleaje?
Kawangware tuko bwana ametulinda, tuko wazima.
Kabisa. Maneno ya pesa kwa relationship, unaoneleaje?
Yes, mzuri sana.
Mute TV Gilbert tafadhali.
Yes, nimekaa lakini nashukuru bwana nimekuja.
Mute TV Gilbert kabla tuendelee.
Okay, sawa. Straight to the point. Straight to the point. That gentleman is talking.
Gilbert, I hope umemute TV. Umemute TV, si ndio Gilbert? I hope umemute. Sawa, endelea kama umemute.
Yeah, our wageni wetu, that gentleman is talking the truth. Nani aliambia watu ati nasema pesa ikuwe ndio watu wa get marriage? Pesa si mnatafuta hata mkiwa pamoja. Mimi I remember nilioa kama bado nadala kwa mattress ya gunia tunaweka ndani nyasi. But nowadays I have so many mattresses zingine nimeweka hapo. Tumetafuta pamoja na mke. Tumepata, na unajua wasichana wa zaidi, that's why they cannot get married, because anataka aende mahali iko. Wewe ukinipata ni mimi nikiwa na magari yangu, ni manyumba yangu, utaniambia nini? Nitakwambia wewe nilikuoa ulikuja na nini hapa kwangu. Wewe enda bwana. Lakini ukikuja we search together. Hiyo peke yake itanipatia heshima, nitakuheshimu, utaona huyu mke wangu tumetoka na yeye mbali. Me, I used even to go to DRC to look small minerals. Nakuja naye hapa, ninauza na tunakaa na mama pamoja na naenda kwa kibarua kidogo. Lakini tumefanya ABCD from that that step, I respect my wife too much. So according to that gentleman, that visitor is talking is the truth.
Right.
Because hakuna mali marriage inaingiliana na pesa.
Okay.
Yes, you can marry once umemaliza shule, umeenda university, ama umemaliza form 4, ama umemaliza college. Next step, if you want to grow, you get married, or if you are a girl, you get married. Or you are a man, marry. Because there's nothing you can do without getting your partner. Even if you kama uko na mali na una mke, hiyo mali utaifanyia nini? Who will inherit your wealth? Si lazima upate mke mzae watoto. Lakini kama ni msichana anasacha ati anataka aingie kwa boma yenye iko na kitu, na mhurumia sana, sababu hata ukiingia pale utakuwa na jina. Olewa hata na mtu maskini. Then the Lord will bless you too. And then you will prosper.
Okay.
Ndoa itakuwa nzuri, ndoa itakuwa ya upendo, mmetafuta pamoja, mke wako atakuheshimu, na wewe pia utamheshimu. Then Bwana atawapatia familia na itakuwa very very humble family. Lord. Thank you very much.
Gilbert, kabla upotee kidogo tu, mkianza na mama, hii mazungumzo yote ya pesa, kuna mahali labda mko mnaelewana juu venye watu husema pesa yako ni ya kila mtu, lakini pesa yake ni yake tu. Mlikuwa na maneno kama hiyo ama yenu ilikuwaje?
Mimi wacha nikwambia, mimi nikioa mama
Endelea Gilbert. Alright, ni kama tumepoteza Gilbert hapo. But then, Daktari, he loads you for what you're saying. A quick review of also what Simi is saying kutoka Kangware. What do you think?
No, the basic is, as he has said, ukioa, unasikiaga couples, especially wale wamekaa miaka mingi, unasikiaga when they introducing their wives and whatever, they will say tumetoka mbali. And you can see a level of, appreciating each other for where they've come from. Lakini another one, now you get married to a guy who, and there is nothing wrong in getting, if you get lucky and you get married to a guy who has money. Lakini if you are just looking for that money alone and you get married, utasikia akisema nimemtoa mbali. Now you'll be referred as when umetolewa mbali. And you look just like another property. So the key thing is, and I think Carol said that, as a woman, you need to realize you have something to contribute to the marriage. As a man, you have something to contribute to marriage, and you may not be equal. But if you put your resources together, I tell you, you will realize you will go far.
And right now, even young people getting into relationships. Okay, naambia tuko na simu ya Kilifi. Naongea na nani kutoka Kilifi?
Habari yako ndugu?
Yes, yangu iko salama. Habari yako?
Hello. Ujambo?
Habari, okay. I hope umemute TV. Jina lako ni nani?
Jina naitwa mwandishi mstaafu. Comrade Eddie Banda.
Karibu sana TV4.
Kutoka gatuzi ya Kilifi.
Okay, karibu sana hapa. Kuna maoni au maswali?
Nina maoni babangu.
Yes.
Kwanza nakushukuru kwa kuleta hii mjadala, na zaidi hayo kuhusisha umma kama sisi. Nizazidi kuwabariki. Jambo la pili, nataka kuonesha mfano. Kuna wakati tulikuwa vijana. Na wakati huo nimetoka Kilifi nikienda Mombasa. Sasa nikapata kazi kampuni fulani, nilikuwa natafuta room. So wakati huo Waarabu ndio walikuwa na manyumba, that was in 1983. Sasa tulipofika pale, nikasema babu, jambo. Sawa. Sasa Mwarabu akwambia wataka room, akamwambia Ali kamwangalie room, lakini anakuambia enda ukaoge pale. Ukishaoga anakuuliza swali la pili, una mke? Sijui kama una mke atakuparu, kama anakuambia toka tunapanga. Sasa nataka kuwahamsa umma na wale wananisikia. Mke ni kitu muhimu katika maisha ya mtu. Na ukiwa umejaliwa kupata mke, kuna vitu vitatu: tanguliza Mungu mbele, mheshimu mkewe, be open na be honest. Unanielewa? Hakuna kitu utaficha. Hata huyu mke akiona na akiongozwa na Roho Mtakatifu, ati huyu mume wangu amesimama na mimi, ataenda hivi. Kama kuna pesa unayo na yeye ana nao, nyinyi kaweke wazi, mkaelewane, mjue vile mtatumiza hivi, mtatengeza familia na hiyo familia itabarikiwa. Lakini wanaume wengi Kenya hii wamekuwa ni watu wa kuotea, wanataka wawekwe. Inataka mume kamili una mke wako, na pia unaweza eka mtu, sio wewe uwekwe. Wanaume wa Kenya hawataki jukumu. Wengine wanazalisha watu alafu wanatoroka, anaacha mama na watoto. Mimi nashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu. I'm a retired engineer. Nimekaa kwa ndoa for the last 42 years. Mke wangu ameniheshimu, amesimama na mimi. Na zaidi ya isa Ugandan lady, hata akinipatia maji anapiga magoti. Hata akitaka kitu namshukuru, ananiomba, baba naomba kwa hisani.
Asante.
Unanielewa babangu?
Asante.
Nimeshukuru sana, lakini jambo naoacha nao watu.
Asante sana kwa moyo.
Wakina mama Kenya hii wanafanya bidii kwa sababu wanaume wamelegea.
Asante sana. Asante sana, salimia sana to Kilifi, and well, that really goes our time. Naona really, I really wanted even to get into the kind of expectations that people have when they get into relationships, but I'm pretty sure now I should be getting your final thoughts and kipata even advice on someone who used to have a different kind of a lifestyle. Amezoea every time yende anapatiwa, but then so anaingia into a new relationship and they expect pesa ya gas pia inakuja, anapata hapa hakuna pesa ya gas. Even as we talk on that, the whole dynamics of young people getting into marriage, relationships rather. Carol.
Yeah, I think my final remarks, nitaguza venye huyo mzee amesema, huyo wa Kilifi, ya kwamba wanaume wa Kenya wamelegea. Hiyo maneno ni ya ukweli, and I think I had mentioned it before I started, when I was starting, that we need to train our young Gen Zs that they have to be responsible fathers. Kwa sababu sasa kumeinuka nao wamama wazazi wameamua kuweka hawa watoto. So you see, and with the new crisis ya marriages kutosimama, most of these young boys are being raised by single mothers. So they have never seen somewhere a man providing. So you see, I think the fathers need to rise up and train these young guys to be responsible, waache kuwekwa na hao wamama wenye wanawaweka, wanawafanya wakuwe very responsible, and they are not able to cater for the family. So what's happening is that they are getting problems in their small marriages that they are starting. Wanaingiliwa sana na hawa wasichana na wanawatusi vilivyo. I happen to relate with that age of small couples and the youths, and you can hear them. I have a lot of feedback from them that these guys don't want to work hard. They expect me to provide for their family. Unexpect nimlishe, unexpect nilipe nyumba, unexpect nifanye kitu. Kazi yake tu ni kutaka, you know, anataka tu the intimacy life from me. But he's not providing. I'm the only hand that is giving to the family. And that's the problem that we are having today.
Right.
And I think we need to address it. We need to rise up as the mothers and also as the fathers to train our boys to be responsible. For them to be responsible fathers. At the same time, as I finish, also the ladies, we need to know that sio kupewa tu pesa na mtu. We must come from somewhere. Tulitoana mbali, wacha tutoke hapo mbali. Na pia wao wanaleta another issue, ati tukitoana mbali, tukirise, ananiacha. Right. So afadhali niolewe na mwenye ako na pesa.
Right.
Kuliko anioe, alafu arudi aniache after tumetoka mbali.
Daktari, in a very few words, your last thoughts.
I will say that money is important, but at the same time, more important is the knowledge that the two have.
Okay.
So get knowledge,
Get knowledge.
Get knowledge on how to handle finances as an individual.
Fantastic.
Get knowledge on how to handle finances as a couple.
Fantastic.
And when you come together, you will make it.
Fantastic. Carol Moshari as well as Dr. Julius Kimani, they're both counselors as we have this conversation on money matters. And for Maneno ya Mapenzi, both of you are probably in the kitchen right now. That is where we want to take you. Tafuta vitungu, tafuta nyanya,